All right, we've got our data through. Now we want to store it in the database. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll get that set up. First thing we're going to start with is by going back to our form here. I'll give myself a little more room to work with. And we're going to take this data out of in the user's controller. So to add a record to the database, we obviously go through the model. So, because the methods are already provided to us there. So we need to use the user model. The user model is already brought into us here. And we just need to go create. In here, what we're going to do is, bear with me a second. Instead of passing an array like this, we're going to pass the array through the request object like this. So request, and then we're going to say only. I only want a few fields to come through for this. This is one way to do it. And in here, so request only, and we only want to pass through our name, the role that was specified for them, and the email. Now we do want to pass the password through as well, so we'll merge the arrays by just using the plus sign, because this returns an array here. And we'll merge the arrays and we'll create an array with just a password in it, but we're going to use the handy little class that's provided to us through Laravel, that is to hash our password. So make sure you use illuminate support facades hash, and we'll say hash make. Is it hash make or hash create? Yeah, I think it's hash make. Anyways, we'll say hash make and we'll return through request dash password. Request dash password. Okay, now that'll work. Perfect. So this is really, really easy. Again, request, we specify the ones that we want to have actually come through. We want to merge this array with this here for hash make, and then request password. So let's go ahead and see how that works for us. And using Tinker, we can verify what was recently added. So I'm going to, first of all, set up Tinker in my console here. Right now, I'm going to put out all users. Okay, well, we have a number of users in here already, so that's fine. So what we're going to end up using is user latest first. That'll give us the most recent one in the system. So this one shows an ID of 256. Yeah, it could be. I'm not sure. Let me see here. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and create a user in the system by submitting our form through with all the correct details. Okay, you click on refresh here, start new. You're going to go name, Tyson London 1, Tyson at london1.com. User role, capital P, password, 123 exclamation mark, capital P, 123 exclamation mark. We just have to make sure it meets the validation criteria. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, perfect. So it did pass through this, and then it just returned our request to us. We want it to return something else to us. So in this case, we'll actually create a response. We'll say JSON, and we'll just pass the user through that we most recently created. Okay. So, and then we can do something with that data as well. So let's see if we actually managed to add them. So perfect. This would be the most recent one, ID of 403. Tyson London 1. So this sits in our database as it should. Now with the next one that we send through, what we want to do is we want to basically flash to the screen that yes, we have created the user, and probably reload all the users in our table, in our pagination, so that we can see that user at the top. So let's go ahead and do that now. So under create user, once something is actually successfully submitted, then we want to just go this, we want to emit something. So this emit, and it'll be created user. And we can, two things here. One, I could pass through the user that was created. That would be an option. Or I could create an actual message with that information. In this case, I think what I'm going to do to make things easier is I'm just going to pass through a message that we can flash at the top of that. So we'll go ahead, we'll flash that here. We'll say successfully created user. We'll specify what their name is. So this would be response.data.user.name. And put a space in there, I'll put a pipe symbol, and I'll just put email. Those are probably the two important details that we actually want to display. And we'll say response.data.user.email. Yeah, I forgot to append this. So there we go. Now let's go back to our user management dashboard. We'll go down to where we create the user, and we'll say von created user. Oops, that's not what I want. Equals. Let's see if we have that method in there yet. No, we don't. We want to flash data and reload. So flash success, we're going to create this one, and reload. And in here, it will automatically pass through that event, so it'll automatically bind it to this. So let's go ahead and create that method now. So flash success and reload function. And this is going to take our event parameter that comes through. And we'll just, let's create, we'll say error, no, we'll say success message. Right now, we're just going to make that null. And we're going to flash our success message up here. So we'll create this as an alert. So we'll say alert-success.alert. And the role here is going to be alert. Okay, perfect. So we only want this to display if the alert isn't null. So we'll say vif directive, we'll say success underscore message is not equal to null. Then we want to display what that message is. So we'll say success message. Put the pipe symbol in there by accident, not a big deal, get rid of that. So success message. Now what we can do in here is we can simply say this dot success message equals our event, because that's a string that comes through for that. And then what we want to do is we want to say this, this dot get users. So we'll call get users again in here. Now let's see what happens here. We'll refresh the page. Let's go ahead and create another user. Two. .com. Role user, create a fake password. Okay, and I'll go ahead and I'll create that user in here. Oh, we came up with an internal 42. The email has already been taken. Oh, that's strange. Okay, let's try London 5. 500 internal server error. Okay, well, let's go see what that error might be. Users controller, create email, hash password. Oh, okay, this is the problem right here. I have to say user equals user create. It returns user. We could do it this way. We could also get a little cheeky and we could also just cut this and then put this in here. But we'll keep it nice and clean and simple this way. Okay, let's try this one more time. We'll say 6. Okay, let's refresh this. I think that's my problem. I didn't refresh this to begin with. Tyson at. Okay, so something's probably happening here in our, or not happening here in this case. So we have flash success and reload. Okay, success message equals event. Success message, as long as it's not equal to null, we're good. Created user, let's make sure that it's actually saying created user for what's being emitted. Okay, it looks like that's the case. Response, created user, this dot emit, created user, flash success and reload. Let's make sure that's correct. Flash success and reload. Okay, well this shouldn't really do anything. We could also bind our event in here. That would be fine. Let's go ahead, refresh, try this one more time, see what happens here. Oh, one other thing we need to do actually. I know where the issue is coming from. It's flashing the success and everything in here. What we're running into is we need to change over our view from create user to dashboard. If you caught that, good on you. We're just going to copy set active so that we know to set our dashboard to active. And now it will display. Okay. Let's refresh that one more time. Okay. Okay. Create user. Perfect. Okay, now it works just as it should. So we flashed our success message up here. That's great. Now, because it is a single page, this portion is a single page as we're working with the table and the users. One thing we'll have to think of doing here is probably breaking out how we flash our alerts in here. So this is important. First of all, I don't want to leave this up here forever. Maybe I only want it to show up there for about 5 seconds and then I want it to disappear. And I probably want to take some of this here and actually put it in its own, like the flashing success, because I would want to use it elsewhere, put it in its own method. So let's do that in the next video.